So let's talk about the Big Bang. Before we start, I need you to picture absolutely nothing. No stars, no planets, no space, not even darkness. Because darkness is still something. Got it? Good. Because that's where the story of everything begins. With a whole lot of nothing. In one very, very big bang. Welcome to the world so far. This is episode 1, so we're starting at the actual beginning. Not the human show up beginning, the beginning. About 13.8 billion years ago. Let's go. So here's the weird part. Scientists are pretty sure the universe had a starting point. Everything that would ever become stars, galaxies, dinosaurs, and really whatever you can think of was actually packed into a single spot smaller than an atom. Hotter than anything that has ever existed since, denser than anything you can imagine. Just sitting there, ready. And then, about 13.8 billion years ago, it didn't sit there anymore. Now, quick mythbuster, because the name is a little misleading. The Big Bang was not an actual explosion that went off somewhere. There was no somewhere yet. Nothing blew up into empty space, because space itself didn't exist. Instead, space itself started stretching everywhere, all at once, everywhere. Imagine drawing dots on a balloon, then blowing it up. Every dot rushes away from every other dot. That's the universe. Not stuff flying through space, space growing. And it grew fast. In the first tiny fraction of a second, and I mean a fraction so small, we have to write it with a decimal point and a parade of zeros. The universe ballooned from smaller than an atom to bigger than a galaxy. We call that part inflation. And honestly, it's still kind of the most ridiculous growth spurt in history. Right after the bang, the universe was screaming hot soup of pure energy. Way too hot for anything solid to exist. Atoms? Forget it. Even the pieces of atoms couldn't hold together yet. But the universe kept expanding, and as it expanded, it cooled. Same way steam cools into water droplets, the cooling universe let energy start turning into the very first bits of matter. In the first few minutes, yes minutes, the whole opening act of the universe is faster than making toast. The first building blocks appeared. Protons, neutrons, the starter pieces for atoms. They clicked together to form the simplest ingredients in existence, hydrogen and a bit of helium, the two lightest, most basic elements there are. And here's the wild thing. Most of the hydrogen in the universe today, including the hydrogen in every drop of water on Earth, was made right there, in those very first few minutes. It's some of the oldest stuff there is. Now, even with atoms starting to form, the early universe had a problem. It was foggy. So packed and energetic that light couldn't travel in a straight line. It just bounced around, trapped like trying to shine a flashlight through milk. The fog lasted about 380,000 years, which sounds like forever, but for the universe, that's basically the first morning. And then it cleared. The universe cooled just enough for atoms to fully settle down, the fog lifted, and for the very first time, light could fly free across space. That first light is still out there, by the way, stretched and faded after billions of years, but real. We can actually detect it with telescopes. It's the oldest light in existence, a baby photo of the entire universe. So now we've got a full universe full of hydrogen and helium gas spread out in giant clouds. But it's dark. There are no stars yet. This is sometimes called the cosmic dark ages, and it lasted a very long time. What changed everything? Well, one quiet, patient force. Gravity. Gravity pulls things towards each other. Always. So those gas clouds slowly collapsed inward, clumping, squeezing, getting denser and hotter at the center. Until, the center got so hot and so squeezed that it ignited. The first star switched on, then another, then millions, then billions. The lights came on across the universe, and the Dark Ages were over. Here's where it gets personal, because stars aren't just nightlights, they're factories. Deep inside a star, the pressure is so intense that it smashes hydrogen atoms together to make helium, and that smashing is what makes stars shine. But when a big star starts running low on fuel, it goes further. It fuses helium into carbon, carbon into oxygen, on, building heavier and heavier elements like a cosmic kitchen working up a menu. Carbon, oxygen, iron, the stuff in your bones, your blood, the air you're breathing right now. None of it existed at the start of the universe. It was all cooked inside stars. And the really heavy elements, they're forged in the most dramatic event a star can have, its death. When a massive star dies, it explodes as a supernova, one of the brightest events in the universe, and blasts all of those elements out into space, seeding the galaxy with the ingredients for everything that comes next. So that line you've heard, "We're made of stardust," well, it's not a poem, it's a fact. The atoms in your hand were literally made inside a star that died long before the sun was born. Gravity kept doing its thing. Stars gathered into enormous spinning groups, galaxies, hundreds and billions of stars each, and there are trillions of galaxies out there. The numbers stop making sense pretty fast. One of those galaxies is ours, the Milky Way. Nothing fancy, just home. And about 4.6 billion years ago, in a quiet corner of it, a cloud of gas and stardust, leftovers from older, dead stars, collapsed together and lit up a brand new star, our sun. And the leftover bits swirling around it, they clumped together too, into planets. One of them, third from the sun, was a hot, melted, chaotic little rock. The rock cooled, oceans formed, clouds gathered, and it became the one place so far in this whole giant story where the universe figured out how to wake up and look at itself. So let's recap the wildest sequence of events ever. Nothing became something. Something stretched into space. Space cooled into atoms. Atoms gathered into stars. Stars cooked the ingredients for everything, then exploded and shared them. And out of all that leftover stardust came a planet, and eventually came to you. That's the universe so far. Next time, we're staying right here on Earth, and we're jumping way, way ahead to one of the biggest, boldest, most ridiculous empires humans have ever built, Rome. How a tiny town turned into a world power, and how it all came crashing down. If you want to keep watching the story of everything that has certainly unfolded on our Earth and our universe, please hit the subscribe button. I'll see you guys in the next one.